How much exercise do you really need? Welcome back to LiveLeanTV for Women. I'm your host, Jessica Guthrow, #1 expert helping women all over the world live lean. Hi, I'm Bruno Guthrow. I'm the expert dog on Living Lean for Dogs. Welcome to today's episode. Thanks for joining us again. Today's topic is going to be about how much exercise is enough, specifically how much is enough for you. Of course, the answer is it depends. Like many of our answers, like you probably saw on our Q&A last Sunday in our new Q&A show. You should be watching that every Sunday now. We talk a lot about fitness and nutrition topics, and the answer is usually that it depends, because it's so true. It does depend on your lifestyle, your current shape, and a host of other factors. So my hopes with today's video is to give you a sort of guideline depending on your starting point and depending on what kind of results you're looking to see. First of all, let's say that workout should not be quantified in terms of hours or duration, because what's really important here is the intensity and the focus that you give it. It doesn't matter how long your workout is if it sucks. If it's lame and boring and you give it no effort, then no amount of time is gonna make up for that. It's just like how we're always telling you guys to get off the scale and stop worrying about the number of your body weight, because it doesn't tell you the whole picture. So instead of talking about hours per week, we're really gonna talk more in terms of sessions per week, and a session can last anywhere from 10 minutes all the way up to 2 hours. Keep in mind that intensity and time, they have this inverse relationship. So as the intensity is going up, the time has to go down, because it's just not possible to do a very vigorous workout for longer than you can do a low intensity workout. So according to the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, they have a set of guidelines for adults on how much they should work out. According to them, it's 2.5 hours of low intensity aerobic activity or 1.5 hours of vigorous intensity. And then that also is to go along with 2 full body major muscle group strength training sessions per week. And they don't give a time limit for how long your strength training session should be. Just as long as you're working every major muscle group in your body, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Now, I think those are perfectly good guidelines. Unfortunately, I think the majority of people in our society don't even get that much. So let's talk about the kind of factors that it depends on and what we recommend based on where you're at. So for the complete beginner, someone who has not exercised pretty much their whole life and they have a very sedentary job that requires them to sit 8 or more hours a day, we recommend starting with daily walks. These can be as short as 10 minutes or up to an hour. Just make sure that you're getting up out of your chair and walking throughout the day. You just want to avoid sitting for long periods of time whenever possible. If your commute takes an hour to get to work, then make sure that you have at least a 10-minute walk before going into the office to sit down in front of the computer. Also, use the timer on your phone or any other timer you can get your hands on, set it for an hour, and when that timer buzzes, you've got to get up, do some stretching, some moving around, maybe go up and down a staircase. You may have to get a little creative with this, like go and make some hot tea, take extra bathroom breaks, or on phone conversations, you can get up and pace around. You can also do calf raises while you're seated in your chair, arm circles, things like that. There are lots of creative ways that you can make your sedentary job less sedentary. Now, with all that said, I would still recommend to this beginner that the goal should be, like the CDC says, at least 2 hours of aerobic activity and 2 strength training per sessions per week. So many people's excuse is that they just don't have time to work out, yet those same people will go home from work exhausted at the end of the day and just lounge on the couch. So there is time, you just have to kind of muster up the energy, and I promise it does get easier after some practice. You do want to go slowly when adding exercise into your life. You can't go like cold turkey when you quit something, just the way you can't go beast mode when you start something. You want to gradually and slowly increase the amount of time you're exercising and the intensity of those workouts. This is how you're gonna get the best results and make sure that you stick to it long term. Now, for those of you who are intermediate, maybe you already consider yourself a live leaner, you've been following the workouts we post here on YouTube, maybe you've even done 1 or 2 of our programs. You can check the store here to see a complete list of those programs. My recommendation for you to continue living lean is to work out anywhere between 3 to 10 sessions per week. Now, some of these sessions may be lower intensity and some are higher intensity and very short, so you can kind of mix and match. It's really good to have a nice variety of types of workouts throughout your week. But the reason I kind of limit that to 10 sessions a week, because I know for me personally, if I'm doing more than that, I start to feel like I'm living in the gym and that all I do is work out, and it kind of feels like it takes over, and then it starts to get uninteresting. So in order to keep that spark alive, that passion, make sure that you're always excited to go to the gym instead of dreading it. I like to put somewhat of a cap on that. There definitely are reasons why you would want to moderate how much exercise you're doing, just the way you want to moderate the foods in your diet, because too much of any good thing can become a bad thing. You have to keep the long term in mind, and you have to realize that living lean is something you are going to do for the rest of your life. It's not just a 6-month or 3-month fad and eventually you'll move on to something else. You want to incorporate exercise into your life in a way that you can see yourself doing that forever. That means it has to be fun, it has to be the right level where it makes you actually feel better instead of feeling worse. Now, for the advanced athletes out there, or those with the big ambitions, if you have a big goal that you're trying to reach, or you have a short time frame that you're trying to reach it in, you can do more exercise per week. There certainly are a lot of athletes out there that are training for 3-4 hours a day with coaches' supervision, so you can bet that it's very intense. But keep in mind, the athletes that train this way, they usually have an on season and an off season, so it's not something they're doing 365 for the rest of their life. So just keep that in mind. If you are gonna go beast mode, just shorten the period of time that you're doing it for. I myself have been beast mode a couple of times, several times actually in my life, and I really enjoyed those short spurts of time, but it was never for longer than a 6-month period. Just make sure you don't go all in and then all out, because that really sucks. When you stop exercising completely, you sort of do this downward spiral and go into depression. So we don't want that happening to you guys. We want you to stay steady and consistent all year round for your whole life. Even if you are training for some athletic event, or you're just going beast mode temporarily to really skyrocket your results, you do want to moderate for symptoms of overtraining. And these can be things like excess fatigue or lethargy. You can have excessively sore muscles, like all of your muscles are just very tender to the touch and it doesn't go away after more than 3 days. You also might experience insomnia or lack of appetite or symptoms of depression. So if you notice any of those things and you've been training a lot, then you may need to back off your training a little bit and allow some more recovery time. The signs that you're training just the right amount is that you should feel a really good amount of energy, you should wake up happy to start the day, and you should look forward to your next workout session. So those are my basic guidelines for you to figure out how much training is right for you, because remember that it is different for each person at each point or phase in their life, what your goal is and what your current lifestyle is like. If you're still confused with all of this and you feel like you need some personal help, or you want me to tell you exactly with your situation how much you should be doing per week, I can arrange that. I do offer one-on-one coaching. So if you're interested in becoming a client, you can check that out at LiveLeanTV.com/coaching. Also, like I mentioned earlier, we do have tons of workout programs that are available that will give you a workout schedule, telling you exactly which days to work out and what workouts to do on those days. So please do shop our store and browse our programs and read about what they have to offer. These programs have been getting tons of people in ridiculous shape. So amazing. So I hope that you'll be the next one. Thanks again for watching our channel. Make sure you comment down below. We love when you guys engage, and leave us a question with the hashtag AskLiveLeanTV so we can directly answer you on our Q&A show that's now airing every Sunday called hashtag AskLiveLeanTV. I'll see you guys next Thursday with another episode. In the meantime, you keep living lean. What it feels like to see my fit body transform into this potato shape.